F2. We're now going to have a look at number 4, where we're going to insert a range check for columns F2 to J8, and we're going to do a range check to only allow a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 20,000 steps, and then we will do a test. So this data here shows the number of steps each person did on each day. So we don't want anything less than 0, and we don't want anything higher than 20,000 steps in any cell, because at the moment we can type in -1 and it will allow it. We can type in something like that. Okay, that's not quite gone to plan. But as you can see, we can add anything we want. So we want to put a range check on it. So we highlight our cells from F2 to J8 because that's where we want to add our data validation of a range check. So I've selected from J2 all the way down to J8. Now to do any data validation, you must select data. Okay, we've highlighted it green, and then you want to click on this drop down arrow, data validation, select data validation and select settings. So we want a whole number, okay, and you can choose different variations, but in our example we're going to do between 0. So the lowest number, whole number we want is 0 to with a maximum of 20,000. And press OK. So now if I type in that, okay, it now won't allow that entry. This value doesn't match the data validation's restrictions. We can improve that by going back to our data. So it's saying retry, and I'm going to put on an error message or add an error message, which is helpful. So data validation, our settings are still there, but we're going to put in a more meaningful error alert. Data not valid could be a title. The number of steps should be a minimum of 0 and a maximum of, let's say it's 20,000, isn't it? Okay, and press OK. So now when I type in something like that, okay, we now have a more meaningful message. The number of steps should be a minimum of 0 and maximum of 2,000, which is more helpful to whoever is trying to input the data. So if we say that somebody puts in 15,000 steps, it now should allow it. Okay, and if I take off any one of the others, it would change there as well. So test by inputting, we've got a figure there that you can put in, and that's that one done. Right, number 5, insert a maximum length check on column E. So column E, okay, a maximum length check. So we've got some fruits, okay, and it's saying to set a maximum of 10 letters. We do not want anyone to add a fruit name of more than 10 characters long. So once we've set that, okay, so we've got some data in there. Remember, highlight the data that you want. We're going to put a validation on. We're already on data, so we want data validation, go to settings, and we want a text length of, we can have a minimum of 2, for example, and a maximum of 10. So if we put OK, now if I try to type in kiwi, but only wanted to leave it as a K, it won't work. Okay, so I'm going to type in kiwi, and it works. But if I left my eye on and I continue to do that, it won't work. Okay, and we can go back to a more meaningful error message by selecting data validation and then changing your error alert again. So we've tested that